All right. Okay, are there any visitors or members of the public that would like to address council?
We're on the agenda.
I know you are. I was looking at the young gentleman in the back. Okay, anyone online?
Thank you so much.
Does anybody online?
All right. First item is consent agenda. The first thing I need to do is I need to pull items A, B, E, and F. Item A, because we found several things that we need to correct in them. B, E, and F cannot be passed by this body. It has to be passed by the Urban Renewal Agency. So if we can pull those four, I understand we have another couple of grammatical corrections.
Councilor Mix, did you want to present those?
Actually, those are on the ones that were pulled.
Oh,
So.
Okay,
Okay,
we don't
never
need to
mind.
worry about that.
all right. So I would entertain a motion.
Move to approve the minutes as presented.
It's not the minutes, it's
Or
consent agenda.
consent agenda, sorry.
There you go.
I'll second that.
Can I confirm really quick that the motion is to confirm or approve the consent agenda as amended?
Or as amended, sorry.
Thank you very much.
Should we remove it and redo it? Just for,
Nope.
you're getting it.
Oh, I'm getting a nod. Never mind.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I'll pull that. And I will move to approve the consent agenda as amended.
And I will second that.
Okay, it's been moved by Frank, seconded by Tracy, to approve the consent agenda as amended. I will take a roll call vote. Councilor Burns,
Yes.
Councilor Kaufman,
Yes.
Councilor Mix,
Yes.
Councilor Sylvia,
Yes, sir.
and I vote yes. Motion carries 5-0. Next item, community service reports and or presentations to the council, quarterly financial report for the Toledo Historical Society and Yaquina Railroad.
Toledo area. Lisa Watson from Toledo.
I'm representing the History Center, which I'm sure you're all very aware of. So you would ask that we come to you quarterly to give you a report of what we've been doing and all that. So, yeah, go ahead. Okay, so firstly, we had great attendance. Obviously, summer is really the high time for us, so. And we had 447 visitors with a caveat. We had our 20-year anniversary event and we had 82 attendees.
Yes.
So it was really successful and we did garner a little bit of money and, you know, got to see a lot of old friends. So it was really quite fun. So,
Oh, and so visitor counts that we're talking about is basically the months of July, August, and September.
Yeah.
And so down at the railroad, we had 610. But that, of course, is coming in with the wooden boat show happening right there. And yeah, I guess that was like the only really big one that was really bringing people in. But both of our organizations have been trying to be active in every way, shape, or form, marketing wise and stuff.
yep, we've been busy. Summertime, we're always open and have more people when there's events in town. And we try to participate as much as we can. So upcoming, of course, we're going to be part of the Main Street Halloween trick or treat, which is a blast. And of course, with the holidays coming, we'll have a Christmas sale and bake sale event. So those will be our fundraisers. Well, not the trick or treat, but the sale for this quarter probably. And it slows down, but we have plans. So we did have some nice donations.
No giant windfall of cash, you know, unfortunately. And so we are, despite like being busy and having these great visitor counts, you know, not everybody is donating, and we do get that occasionally, and times are, you know, tough for everybody. But another big thing that we participated in, well, we had an unmanned booth at the county fair to continue to spread the information throughout the county of our museums. The Railroad Museum was present at multiple out-of-county events, which have yielded people coming into Toledo for the first time ever, because we do, tend to ask our visitors, we were at the Great Oregon Steam Up, and there was the Barrel the Keg relay race that came through town. We were a waypoint. We got a lot of people interested in coming back to Toledo when they weren't running. And there was a really great event that we were participating at with the library as well, with their grant that they awarded, the Oregon Humanities Grant. And so we're just continuing on with our missions to preserve and present local history.
Great.
So
Yeah,
we would love to have your continued fiscal support, if possible. It really is what
Any
keeps us going and keeps the doors open. So.
questions?
Questions? I actually have one. So I'm sure you do this, but I'm just curious, when people come in to visit you, do you let them know that you need money? I mean, you'd be cooler about it than that, but
Yeah, we got the donations box prominently located. I make sure to always say that we are an Oregon 501c3. When I talk about the History Center, as I always push every visitor to the Railroad Museum, to the History Center, and to the other attractions and restaurants in town, I let them know that they are 100% volunteer staffed. That, any support is welcome, and, gift shop sales, we always say this is benefiting the museum. Thank you so much in that sense. So yeah, I guess short answer is yes, we do say we need money.
that's a short one, but thank you.
Yes, sorry.
yeah, we have the guest book that we always ask them to sign. And the donation box is right above the guest book.
Yeah, we've got several,
I mean,
so.
as much as you can.
Sometimes, putting the word out there, actually speaking it is maybe a little more effective, because I can bypass a donation box and not even see it. That's all. You
Yeah.
guys do a great job and a great service to Toledo, and thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I have a question.
Yes.
A clarification question kind of for us as council, not necessarily directed at these ladies. I was not here in the meeting where you guys decided that you wanted to just have them come in every few months and ask for money again and again and again like that. Is that what we're doing? They come in, they present it, they tell us we want more money. At what point do we actually move towards giving them the money?
So then we direct Rich to have it on the next meeting agenda, which in this case would be 1st of November,
Okay.
the first meeting in November, and then we decide there.
And so you direct Rich to do that, or do we?
We as a council by consensus, direct.
Okay. All right.
Do we have consensus?
Yes.
You
Yes.
betcha.
Go forth and conquer. And write a really good RCA.
You got it.
Thank you, lady.
Thank you, Beth. Thanks for coming to visit us.
Yes.
You said those comments too.
You.
All right, our next item is on to discussion information items. First item, hosting an annual candlelight vigil for victims and survivors of domestic violence. Frank, I believe this is your item.
Yeah, I've kind of wrote something so I don't stumble over my words. I think that as city representatives of the city and our constituents, we should all stand united against all forms of domestic violence. And as such, I would like to suggest a candlelight vigil sometime this month, then make it an annual thing starting next year towards the beginning of the month to avoid late October rains. I think it's the least we should do for all victims and survivors of domestic violence. Well, that's it. Now it's open for discussion.
Council?
I agree.
I agree. So what does it look like?
Out in front of City Hall, we just invite people to show up for a candlelight vigil like we did for Tasha, who lost her life. October is domestic violence month, so.
Do we want to do it?
Well, it depends on how, this year, I would think that doing it in front of City Hall would be easier. Maybe in the future, if it generates enough interest, and I think it will, if they see that it's annual, I think maybe moving it to the waterfront
Yeah.
will be the best thing to do. But for this first year, I think doing it here in front of City Hall in the, in the parking lot and so on. So to minimize disruptions and to minimize staff time and all of this, we do it that way.
Are we thinking of a day? Do you have a day in mind?
No, I was gonna leave that up to the man in charge, but we'd have to move it to a decision item later on in the meeting, which is what I'm asking for. For a date
So,
to be determined.
right.
This is kind of a wake up call with
Mhm.
this homicide.
Kind of, while Rod's doing his calculation, checking his calendar, I suspect.
Mhm.
I just want to put a big, huge thank you to all of our staff and everybody that really helped pull that vigil together.
Yes.
Couldn't have done it without you, and it was so much needed. I think we had at least 500 people,
I was conservatively saying that we had over 400 people there. at one point.
but I was counting how many candles we went through,
Oh, yeah.
and then all the tea light candles for the kids. And I think we were pretty close to 500 people.
And the most effective would be the children.
Yes.
That was the hardest part.
All right, so I think that Monday night, the 27th, is the best night of that week to be able to do it, simply because I know that there will be other items going on in the community all the rest of the nights. So that's probably our best bet.
First
go that-
Monday in October?
No, the
No,
last month
last
in
Monday
October
in
this
October.
year, the 27th.
Oh,
Future years, I
so you want to
wanna,
have one this month and then
Yes.
a year, okay.
yeah,
And then only go at the beginning of the month and
to avoid all of our late October rains.
consensus to move that to decision item.
Yes, please.
Okay, so I've added decision item E, candlelight vigil for domestic violence.
And I have the candles.
Okay.
At least a good, I think we'll have.
Yeah, and the cooler's still full of water that we're gonna leave there when it's get ice for it.
All right. All right, our next item is Counselor Mix program notes. I believe that would be yours.
Have this item for next council meeting.
Yes, we can move that to our,
Sorry,
it's all right.
I apologize, you guys. I am a tax preparer for those of you that don't know, and this was the worst possible day to have to come and do a presentation. Yeah, last day. So,
So, Rich, let's move that to the 5th of
Of
November.
November, you bet.
thank
thank
you.
You got it? No problem.
All right. Next item, we begin our decision items. First up, a request for council action to nominate and vote for a new council president.
Nominate Tracy Nick.
Second. All right, who's second?
Jackie Kaufman.
Check comment, sorry.
Been moved by Frank, seconded by Jackie Kaufman to nominate Tracy Mix for council president. I will take a roll call vote. Councilor Burns,
Yes.
Councilor Mix.
Myself?
You can do whatever you want. You're a voting counselor.
Yes.
Councilor Kaufman,
Yes.
Councilor Sobi,
Yes, sir.
and I vote wholeheartedly yes.
So I should move over here.
Yes, she
Yes,
does.
she does.
Oh, there you go, sister.
Oh, miss you, Frank.
Got that love-hate relationship from a distance.
Yeah, whatever, you two need to separate.
Sometimes.
I was in the marching band, don't get you started.
Well played.
Okay. Decision item B, request for council action on approval of agreement with 2KG Contractors, Inc. for the replacement of filter media at the City of Toledo Water Treatment Plant. Mr. Lormore.
Yep. Council, Mayor, thank you. As you know, earlier you folks approved entering contract with Rebuild It to replace the filter media. One thing's down to dotting, signing the dotted line and the final dollar amount, what it would cost. they had provided me the information we needed initially, and they updated it, and it was about a $30-some thousand discrepancy. So back to the drawing board, I let them know that was inappropriate because I had, present to you folks, and long and short, we were able to get a hold of an outfit who could do it for a more fiscally responsible price. So the topic tonight, I request for approval to reach agreement with 2KG contractors for replacement of the filter media at the City of Toledo water treatment plant, and authorizing the city manager to execute the agreement. Basically, they came in after all was said and done at $235,000. Rebuild it, said they'd do it for $272, and then after they gave me the final numbers, which I thought was final, ended up being closer to $310,000. So I'm asking you guys to approve having City Manager Heber sign contract with 2KG to actually have the filter media replaced, and at a savings of $74,000.
What did I tell you? That's all I'm gonna say.
Brian, what about the plus 10,000?
I'm gonna ask for a $10,000 buffer on that, just in case of the cost of the media, the aggregate actually goes up. And that was one of the concerns from 2KG when I was communicating with them, that I said, hey, I need to go put this before our council to get approval. And they said, yeah, the sooner the better because of the cost of costly rising. So that's why I'm asking for a $10,000 buffer.
Brian,
I do have a question though, real quick. More for people watching, listening. It says the work is expected to take 3 weeks. The citizens' water is not gonna be.
Not be affected.
At all.
Not be affected at all.
That's all I wanted them to hear.
And Brian, I had another question that was presented to me on this. I think it also would be good for those hearing to confirm the lead time that's listed on the bids. That's the time between signing the contract and completing of the work itself, correct?
Unless
That was
it's
the other bid.
unless it states in the lead time for 14 to 16 weeks probably to actually get the filter media itself.
Right.
So the sooner the better, obviously moving forward, replace that. And that's the lead time to get the actual filter media that will be used to replace.
And as Councilmember Sylvia mentioned, I do recognize and understand that is in the other bid, but that's a term that I had a question about, and so I just thought it would be good to have it.
The 2KG contractors bid as well.
Oh, perfect.
It says it right there, filter media 14 to 16 week lead time.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you for catching that. So yeah, I thought that would be good for, as the counselor said, so the people listening at home to hear that.
And those, sorry,
Nope, go.
the original estimate, the revised estimate, and the new estimate from 2KG were also part of that packet for your guys' viewing pleasure.
Jackie.
Is 10 gonna be enough? Don't we usually go 10% or 15%?
Not on something like this, not when the contractor asks for an amount.
That was one I threw in there. So I want to be conservative.
Okay,
But I think he's being a little too
yeah,
conservative.
I would up it to 15. As a contingency on
It's one of those.
Go for it, guys.
Move to approve an agreement with 2KG Contractors, Inc. for replacement of filter media in the City of Toledo water treatment plant and authorize the city manager to execute the agreement. The approval amount would be for $250,000, not to exceed $250,000. All right.
it. Second, right? Been moved by Tracy and seconded by Frank to approve an agreement with 2KG Contractors, Inc. for the replacement of filter media at the City of Toledo water treatment plant and authorize the city manager to execute agreement with the contract not to exceed $250,000. Take a roll call vote. Counselor Burns,
Yes.
Counselor Kaufman,
Yes.
Counselor Sylvia,
Yes, sir.
Counselor Mix,
Yes.
and I vote yes, motion carries 5-0. All right, next item, request for council action, human resources job description approval.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Council, in your packet this evening is a proposed job description for a permanent in-house human resources director position. As you'll recall from the presentation from Jensen Strategies at your workshop meeting, which somehow is already 3 weeks ago, their recommendation was supported in my time so far is very much supported by the staff and I believe yourselves, is to create an in-house human resources director position to manage the human resources program for the city of Toledo. So what you have in your packet this evening is a proposed job description. That job description was prepared by myself and our current human resources consultant, Shauna Gribskov. We looked at job descriptions from multiple public agencies and have prepared the description that is in your packet this evening. What your approval this evening would do is allow the city to add this position to our list of employment positions. It is the salary range listed is the current salary range for department directors. I have spoken with our interim finance director. The breakdown that you see on the RCA for the salaries was discussed between Judy and myself. That breakdown was because the human resources director position will affect all employees of the organization. We basically broke it down proportionally between the employees that are in the utilities and in the general fund. So that's the breakdown that you see on the sheet. We have a plan that we have discussed to fund the position for the remainder of the current budget year without needing to ask you for a budget amendment. I'm happy to report. So the proposal that you have before you this evening, as I stated, will add this position to the City of Toledo employment staff, and will be funded for the rest of the budget year. And then as part of your ongoing budget process, funds will be continue to be identified throughout that process. So I'm available for any questions that you may have.
Just what does FLSA exempt mean under classification?
That is in relation to the Fair Labor Standards Act, which determines whether an employee is considered exempt or non-exempt for purposes of overtime. So your department directors and myself are exempt employees, meaning if we work more than 40 hours in a work week, we are not entitled to overtime pay.
Essentially, like it's salary.
Correct, salary. Yep, you got it.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Hager, a question.
Sure.
Because this is actually just creating a new position within our,
Our workforce, correct.
yes. So then, once it gets approved, then will you be recruiting or are we gonna get shot? Have you looked that far ahead?
The best answer that I can give you at this time is because the position has not been approved and currently part of our workforce, I have not been able to discuss the position
Of course.
with any potential candidates because it doesn't exist yet. So I will be happy to have a report for council at your next meeting on our plans to fill the position once it's created.
That was the best political answer I've ever heard.
Slick.
So I'm just gonna say, I wish we had this position a year and a half ago. I'm just
How
gonna
many?
leave that there.
How many?
At least a year and a half
At
ago.
least, makes me happy.
Yeah. I would entertain a motion.
I move to establish a human resources director position within the City of Toledo workforce and confirm the job description for the position as presented.
Second.
Yes.
It's been moved by Frank, seconded by Jackie Kaufman to establish a human resources director position within the City of Toledo workforce and confirm the job description for the position as presented. I will take a roll call vote.
Yeah.
Thank you, Counselor.
Yes.
At least 5 years ago, yes.
Okay, I'm trying to look in the realm of what I can turn the clock back to.
Yes, sir.
I know.
And I am a wholehearted, jumping up and down, Martha, yes.
Well, you can't do that. You don't want to trip over the stuff.
Guys, I don't want to turn the clock back because I don't want to relive the last.
No, thank you.
Either, that was the point. All right, our next item, item B, request for council action. Adoption of fire department policy.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I will give a brief introduction and then invite Police Chief Lapoff to make any comments. Police Chief, I used to do that to my fire chief and my police chief at my last city, and boy, the dirty looks that I would get, and I bet I'm getting them
right
I
now.
bet I'm getting them from both of them right now. I'm not looking over there for that particular, that specific reason.
Get a real vacation.
Sleep.
I take the time off. I will invite Fire Chief Lapoff to make any comments on this item
I love you, Dave.
that he would like to. So in your packet this evening is a proposed fire department policy. The fire department has not had a department policy in the recent history. And so this is an item that our city attorney has been diligently working on with the support of Fire Chief Lapoff, Deputy Chief Robeson, and members of the Public Safety bargaining unit. They have been approved by the union upon their review and are presented to the council this evening for your review and consideration. And Fire Chief Lapoff, do you have any additional comments you'd like to make?
No, I think they're in your packet. They're really people policy. Be kind to the workplace. Don't do anything bad. Don't do anything wrong. Don't bring
Be a good
weapons.
human.
Yeah, just be good human policies.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's been vetted out. Yes.
Questions if I may.
No, please.
Chief. And I don't have it, it didn't pull up on the stinking little notepad, but when I did review it, I saw in there that one of the rules, if that's the right description, was no gambling,
You know what?
no gambling. And
Yes.
so, but that's not my question. My question is, how come no gambling, but I didn't see anything about drinking?
There is a no consumption of alcohol, somewhere in there.
Did I
And
miss
it's
it?
interesting that they bring up the gambling, because I actually tried getting that stricken, but I was overruled by certain powers to be. Because we were having fun gambling, which I think would be an exception, that the volunteer association would come to the council and ask for an exception for some fun gaming. I think what this is implying is serious gambling where there's real dollars being exchanged and people are being a
A lot
little,
of fundraising type gambling and that kind of thing.
yeah.
And the second question I have,
Yes.
and then I'll be quiet, is,
No.
you had noted that some of the volunteers are, you looking to have them, they're gonna come back?
Yeah, that's where it's off the topic, but yeah, I think the fire department as a whole is recovering and on the right track without getting too far off conversation.
Okay, that was no.
Oh, in my board report. Oh, look, should we say on policy?
We'll get to the department reports in a little bit.
Never mind.
That's a great point, Fire
It
Chief
is your
Lapoff.
council.
We do have the city attorney on the meeting this evening who helped us develop the policies in your packet. Savani, do you have anything to add to Councilor Burns's question?
No, I just want to make sure that we have the correct version of those policies, because it should address alcohol consumption. So there's kind of two classes in that policy, or in one of the policies. It's things that are prohibited while people are on duty, and then things that are prohibited if you are a member of the fire department in general. And then the other kind of overarching comment I have is that these are, I believe the starting place for these were some standard policies that are widely used that we just kind of updated for clarity and consistency with City of Toledo policies.
Wasn't there a thing where, one of the firemen showed up on duty and he was drunk and then, stop there. No,
Yep.
we can't discuss that here. Well, okay. Sorry, like, I'm trying to, never mind, yeah. That's why.
So let me just jump in. So the policy speaks to people showing up under the influence and the process that that's dealt with as a
Okay.
generic.
Okay, okay.
term.
Good. Thank you, Chief. Oh, my goodness.
So Savani, the version that is in the council packets is the version that I received via email on October 8th. Is that, and you can just give a nod or a thumbs up if you don't want to open your mic again, but is that the correct one?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Yes, I just want to make sure that that's captured there, because that was an important piece of the policies.
Any other questions, council? Okay, our first item is the resolution.
Mr. Mayor, Savani, were you wanting to confirm that before the council had the vote?
No, I think so. We went over these policies pretty extensively, and there are several of them in there.
Yep.
Even if there is a piece that I'm fairly certain it's in there, and if it's not, then it was just based on a typo.
Okay.
I just want to make absolutely certain. But I can confirm that offline and we can bring it back. I think these policies need to be in place.
We confirm it, pending final review by our legal. Maybe we accept it.
Yeah.
We can.
Yeah, and then
but
we can
can't
have
do the
signatures
resolution
occur.
until
It's been confirmed.
it's been confirmed, as I understand what. Did I understand that correctly?
So you could approve the policies,
So could we approve the resolution and then you guys come back and fix the typo?
yes. Yeah, I would, because the final version of the policies will require signatures from the chief and the mayor. And I'm so sorry, my control F is not working. I'm certain it's in here. I just can't find it right now. So
Savani, are you concerned that this version may not have had the drinking portion?
yes, and so Chief, do you recall which one that's in?
I didn't see it.
My only question is this considered a living document so it can be updated at any point in time with our approval?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. So we can come back to, so if it's not, I'm so sorry for the inconvenience. If that specific piece somehow got erased from the final version that we all looked at and approved.
Okay,
we
I
will
just
bring
wanna
that
make
one
sure that
specific policy
We
back.
don't do the resolution and then have to come back and do another resolution. Yeah, to do a resolution and correct a resolution. I don't have to do that.
Yes. I saw it.
Kind of went through it 5 minutes, yeah, which is fine.
I think I saw it cheap.
Yeah.
She said it should have been 2 places. I thought it was the first parts. Prohibited by members of duty. Ways, campaign, firearms, pistol violence, etc. It's not in there.
Yeah.
So it would be in that section.
Okay, it's not in here. So in the section, Bonnie, that we're looking at where it says, so this is page 102, well, that might not be. I think it's point rules and regulations policy 102.02, inappropriate behavior. It says in the section where they're prohibited by members on duty, there's nothing that says anything about drinking alcohol or being intoxicated.
It should be everything, including alcohol, cannabis.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's
So
I got to remove. For that thing.
that's right. The language should be gambling or appearing on duty under the influence of
Yeah,
Mr.
alcohol.
Mayor, just to make sure that that the policy reflects exactly, you know, what council would like to see as well as what's been, you know, figured out between Savani and the fire chiefs. Would you like us to bring back an updated version at your next meeting and have the resolution at that time?
Yes.
You bet.
That would make things a lot smoother.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
It would give her time to work her magic over there as well as you guys here.
Crystal, do they need a motion to move this to a next meeting, or is consensus good enough?
So
I see a
I
nod.
will move that we table this, which automatically moves it to our next meeting.
Perfect.
So move the
Thank
table
you.
and it doesn't take a
doesn't
second.
need a second, good.
Doesn't need a second.
Very good. Thank you all.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Next item, which will be item E, which is new to the agenda this evening. A candlelight vigil for domestic violence. Frank, you can walk us through what you'd like to see.
So as we were discussed earlier, I'd like to have us do a candlelight vigil in front of City Hall this year on the last Monday of the month, 27th. And then followed by every year after that, that our city manager can set a date for the beginning of the month of October to avoid our rains.
What time on the 27th?
What time do we do Tasha's?
We did that at 7.
Yeah, so 7 o'clock when it starts.
We could do it at 6 now, roughly.
Okay.
I happy to add a little, I actually am right now looking at an extended weather forecast and obviously subject to change in 12 days, but at the moment, October 27th is looking fairly promising weather-wise. It also mentions a sunset time of 6:11 p.m. So 6:30 might be a
Yeah, let's start.
start it at 6 and have the candle at 6:30.
6:30.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can have some of us counselors set this up. Something I wanted to add was to the people listening, the vigil that we had for Tasha was absolutely not a city sponsored vigil. It was a human sponsored vigil that 3 of us on council just got together to do. We just asked the city to post for us, so that was not, this coming up is gonna be council sponsored.
There was no city money used in any part of that, so.
So
I
what,
used-
what do you need to put it?
Nothing, we just need to get it put on.
If we do it here, at City Hall, all we'll need to do is have the bathrooms open, and then everything else is
Okay,
people
then somebody's
powered.
gonna
I've got
get,
candles, I've got purple ribbons.
I've
we've
got more
water still.
candles, yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
so-
we're all set, so, nobody needs to bring anything they can if they want. But Tracy was smart enough this last time and got a bunch of tea lights for the littles that don't wanna get burned. And I think that saved a lot
Any
of
kind
kids.
of program or MC?
I'm gonna reach out to my sister's place. They're the local domestic violence shelter.
Okay,
In years past, Amber has done a lot of work with us on that. I think that she is currently having health issues, but nothing that she wouldn't be able to respond to me and help with
I'm
figuring
not
out program.
familiar with that, so is.
It's the countywide domestic violence shelter.
Oh, gotcha, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about we also include maybe our district attorney's office?
That would be good.
I would like
Yes.
that.
I'll reach out to them also.
I think it's the least we can
Because
do.
I'll be blunt, I don't want our staff to be involved in this other than they know we're doing it.
Yep.
Okay. So,
I think we can handle it all by ourselves.
all right. So with those parameters in place, do I have a motion?
I would move to have an event for, have a domestic violence vigil, our first annual domestic violence vigil October 27th at 6 p.m. Inviting my sister's place and the district attorney's office and possibly other speakers as they arise
At 6.
And starting
at 6 p.m. I'm sorry, yeah.
And
Yeah, I
starting
said
at-
first annual. I said first annual.
Yeah, she got that.
Okay.
I was second.
Second.
Now I gotta try and repeat it.
Good luck.
What she said.
It's been, yeah, no, I can't do that. I'm not allowed to do that. It's been moved by Tracy, seconded by Frank, to have the city council's first annual candlelight vigil on October 27th at 6 p.m. here in front of City Hall, with the idea being that we do more in the years to come. We want to include my sister's place and the DA's office and possibly other speakers to attend and bring information. Work. All right. All those in, oh, we got any more. Okay. Roll call vote. All right. Counselor Burns,
Yes.
Counselor Kaufman,
Yes.
Counselor Sylvia,
Yes, sir.
Council President Mix. And I vote yes. Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, sir.
Before we move on to the next item, I just wanted to ask council really quick. So in your description of the motion, you mentioned outside City Hall. Considering the potential for size of audience, would council prefer to have the event in the parking lot? Or if we do it out?
Spillover would go to the parking lot.
The reason I bring it up is depending on the size of the attendance, if we do it outside City Hall, it may necessitate a street closure. So I'm happy to work with Public Works to do that, but I just wanted to clarify council's desire on that.
Trying not to have that happen.
What if we just empty out the parking lot, cordon that off? Can we do that with the e-charging?
We did that for the street dance. We put out notice ahead of time and so there are either of those options. I just kind of wanted to clarify. Council.
Let's look then to close off the parking lot and the 3 parking spots here.
Okay.
So we need an application.
And so
Love those applications. Ain't gonna do it.
Frank will take care of the application.
Frank will take care of the application.
We're good.
You want me
I'll
to
be in.
check it for you?
Absolutely. 10 times over.
Oh. Will that satisfy you, sir?
That satisfies. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you.
Thank you.
And once again, I'm going to thank you.
All right.
It's a mutual
All right, we'll
admiration.
move on to department reports. First up, Chief Lapoff. Oh,
Yes, sir.
wait,
What can I do for you?
hold it. Kristen said something.
The minutes. We know. What about minutes? Are we done?
Already.
No, they pulled them because they have to be approved by the
URA.
So
We have to schedule a URA
Yeah,
meeting.
so when we don't meet URA unless needed to. And then when that happens, then all these minutes show up and we do it then. It's not a,
and he just pulled them off the agenda.
Sorry, I had before our next meeting.
Oh,
This-
no, item E was
That was
the
the vigil.
vigil, the decision to host that.
Thank you.
You got him.
September 18th, that correct.
so it's been requested that,
December 18th, they had too many corrections to do here, so they pulled them as well. Yep.
it's been requested that we have a 15-minute URA meeting before our next full council meeting. So that would be the first meeting in November.
Okay.
So we can just approve them. and get
So
it
you
over.
just approve it, get it done.
I'll have a question about that for you in my city manager report, so very
Perfect.
good.
Yep. All right, Chief Lapoff, lay it on us.
I think the report spoke for itself. Back to the question, we are starting to see some former volunteers of the fire department, not district, sorry, that have expressed interest in rejoining. And so we're making gracious overtures and open arms to try to bring people back
Excellent.
and work around things and have some candid conversations about how things were and how things are. So that's going good. Obviously, it's been a fairly violent month across this part of the county. Unparalleled, I believe, would be reasonable statement. I've talked to the sheriff's office about their event out in Oak City, and we had our event, and then of course Toledo Police Department Chief Pace had your event here, so I think it's got everybody kind of hypersensitive to when we go on calls a little bit. The fire department has recently had as well as the police department, it's a EDP, emotionally disturbed person type call here in town that has generated numerous calls per week. And so we started a conversation with dispatch center about that we're not going to respond to those. So we'll see how that works because it becomes very challenging. Obviously, we'll go if there's a house fire and if another public safety agency gets on scene, but we're going to make it a medic only type of response just because there's so many calls at all hours of the night and day. And it's just kind of wearing people out. So aside from that, I think we're going okay. We have things we still want to try to work on and resolve. And your city manager and I and Savani will continue to work towards that path.
Thank you, Chief. Any questions?
I just have one, it's kind of directed at both chiefs. How are your people doing after the event here in Toledo?
I'll let him talk first.
How are the firefighters, medics that showed up to the shooting call here in Toledo? How are they dealing with what they had?
Well,
Through it?
yeah, if my information is correct that our people really never got involved with the incident here in Toledo.
That's correct.
Yeah, so there was nothing there. Our incident in Siletz, we got much more engaged in it with hands-on treatment and stuff. But our folks were actually okay. It's actually the Lincoln County Sheriff's Office people that we think had more of an impact on, and we're more concerned about them, and they're doing all the right things to take care of their folks. And I think the thing that happened in Oak City, I think it was none of our people really got too engaged on that. So I think it's just more, we're all acutely aware that things can go sideways very quickly. And there's a lot of people with a lot of weapons, and we just all need to be more careful and vigilant.
That's all I had.
Any other questions for Chief Lakewell?
No.
Thank you, sir. Chief. Got another chief. Chief Pace.
So just to touch on what he said, it's been a very violent month. We had the homicide, and then soon after the Elk City shooting, which me and my recruit responded to first. It's rather sobering for a town of our size, the kind of activity we normally have. My staff was shaken by it, still is shaken by it. So we're seeking help through chaplain services and other entities. But it's the first homicide we've had here in 44 years.
44. I heard 34.
Yeah, 44. Last one that I know was 81. So
Way too still.
yeah, I agree. But on the happier notes, we've got a recruit that's going through FTEP right now. We're looking at him hopefully checking out third week of January. And then I've talked to both the city manager and HR about opening another position up. We unfortunately just can't do more than one at this time with the resources that we have. One of our officers is out, unfortunately, and so it makes our size a little bit smaller. And that unfortunately happened right before the homicide. So everybody was working, and hats off to all my crew that was there. We worked all long hours and got the job done. But it's a very unfortunate thing to happen to our community, and such a wonderful footprint that she left. And she touched so many people, and that was seen at the vigil. I mean, over 500 people, I would assume. But and not only our community, but also where she was before her and where she taught. So it's a sad thing. But as you can see in my report, we've had other major arrests, potential violence as far as the firearm possession arrests and stuff. So yeah, do you have any questions for me?
There are too many people with guns.
Chief, you said one of your people is out. What do you mean out? Is sick or off to?
They're out. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I know.
It's nothing
Okay, I didn't know.
Nothing
it-
bad. I mean, it will. I mean,
Nothing administrative.
there we go. Thank you very much. Yes. Yes.
The other thing is that, I don't know how long I've been on city council, but you're smiling. And I haven't seen you smiling. And so I don't know if it's because you're engaged, or because we have a city manager, or because something happened.
I think all of the above.
Thank you. That's what I was thinking.
I think it's a positive
good
work
on you.
environment now and things are happy home, so. And I've got a great crew that had a horrible situation that happened that's thrown into front of them. And I tell you what, this community has grit. Every single time there is a horrible situation, like the snowstorm or whatever, everybody comes together. Same thing as the vigil. Everybody came together for that family. And I feel so proud to work for an organization, community that's like this, you know.
Tykes community, one of the statements I heard was, a city that agrees together heals together.
I 100% agree.
Our community is not just Toledo, it's, I believe Tracy said a really good statement about her community. It's not place, it's the people.
I 100% agree. I mean, I was thinking, you know, those lights that are out there is every single person that she touched. And you look around, you're holding that light and you're not alone. Everybody else is feeling the same pain. And we were bonding in our grieving, bonding in our healing process, you know, so.
Just want to say, you look younger now that you smile.
Thanks.
Just, I will say.
Any other questions for Chief Fink?
Oh, sir. Thank you for your service.
Well, I want to thank not only you for your service, but your hiring process has proven to work. Especially thinking of our younger officers that had to deal with these situations, probably the last thing they thought they'd ever have to deal with here. And they did their job.
My hat's off to that individual that dealt with that situation. It could have turned a lot differently.
Yes.
But the things that are taught to them, that individual, his constitution allowed him to de-escalate the situation, whereas the best possible solution. So.
And the other officer who had to actually do live medical training on the spot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, 100% agree.
Because when I served in the military, I watched guys men freak out over not their own blood, but anybody else's blood.
Yeah, the incident you're talking about is the El Pacific shooting. My officer was able to administer first aid that probably saved that person's limb. So.
Thank you. All right, next up, Public Works.
You're not gonna make me cry too, are you?
I will try not to.
They're making us cry tonight. But
What would you like to know?
Do you want to add anything to your report?
Yeah, well, you have the report, obviously. We have submitted for RFQs through Civil West for the rebuild of memorial bathrooms. So hopefully we'll get some interest in that and get that taken care of. Also, my crew's been busy. They other things have popped up. There was an underground aquifer, we'll say, or a stormwater basin that was leaking that they're gonna be repairing. And I'd mentioned, I think last council meeting, that Deer Park off of 12th Place is being restored, and it's amazing. There was some water damage from that stormwater episode that they're repairing and rerouting some storm drainage, but to no avail. It's gonna be back to gorgeous as it was. So my guys are just staying diligent with that currently. On the 27th, as long as my boss at home is okay with it, I will volunteer my time to help with the vigil. And then also to close a chapter on FEMA and Oregon Emergency Management, I finished up 100% on the recouping the money. So there's about another 5,491.04 coming back to the strategic reserve,
Yeah.
and I'm done with it.
And I think it costs exactly or close to that amount in staff time to gather all the paperwork to recoup that amount, but.
Welcome to the federal government.
Right, but very thankful to Brian for the diligence on that. Brian, it may be in your report, but do you have anything you want to share about the guardrail?
Oh, so amongst all the craziness that was transpiring this weekend, also an individual was loading a vehicle onto a car hauler or trailer of sorts in the area of Southeast Fourth Street and Douglas. And that trailer, the brakes did not hold up on the vehicle that was pulling the trailer, and the trailer with a truck with another truck on it, I believe, proceeded to take out about 180 feet of guardrail on Douglas, but Public Works already replaced it, so they jumped on it and they did a great job.
Did it go over the bank too?
I don't know the extent of it,
It breached the curb, so.
but it did a number on the guardrail.
What happened when I was trying to buy it?
So I have to ask the question, have we contacted anyone's insurance agency?
Have we what?
Have we contacted anyone's insurance agency about this?
Yes, we have.
Oh, wonderful.
We're on top of it. We've got a claim number and all the above. Working out those details right now.
Thank you.
So I just want to talk about this. You know, we were doing the vigil and, you know, it gone and it was very emotionally draining, and then we had to pack everything up. All of a sudden, show up these strong young men from the fire department and Mr. Lorimer from Public Works, and they loaded everything up so fast. I was wiped out. I was ready to drop. And these guys just came swooping in and saved the day. And once again, there's not enough thank you, but thank you.
I also want to personally thank you for getting your guys to do this ramp for me, to give me easier access up here, because it was getting painful.
That's 100% Ricky and a couple other guys that helped him.
Well, I had to opt to them. It was my. So thank them for my place.
Do.
Thank you, Brian.
All right. Finance report is in your packet. Judy, do you want to speak to this?
Yes, I don't think that my written finance report made it in the packet. The numbers are in there, but I just
Yep.
wanted to. I'm assuming that you were all given the S&P Global.
They were.
Two
Yep.
sheets from them. And I just wanted to draw your attention to that because we kept our A+ rating, which is I'm really happy about, but they changed the outlook from stable to negative, meaning that they're going to be keeping an eye on us for the next couple of years to see how our financials are and how things are going. And there's still the possibility that they could lower our rating if things don't go well, or they could hopefully change it back to stable. So you're all aware of the toll that the last year or so took on the city emotionally and psychologically, but it also took a huge financial toll on as well.
I do want to comment on this. You had already given me a heads up on this, so I reached out to several of my mayoral friends around the state. I'll be blunt. We had an actual reason for our finances to take a dip last year. Unfortunately, we are now in the group of 80% of Oregon cities, mostly of us, the small ones, that are in this negative realm. Measures 5 and 50 and all the other restrictions that have been placed on cities. It's finally going to start coming to a head. We've got over 60% of our cities that are looking to be underwater within the next 3 years if we don't find some way to change taxes and how not only are they collected, how are they received, at what rates they are. And so one of the things that has come up at LOC, and we've been working on this diligently now for 2 years, is trying to give the state legislature a reasonable pathway to correcting these issues. So what a lot of people don't know is, yes, your property taxes can only go up 3% a year. The problem is we only collected about a 2.5% rate due to defaults and just people can put off paying their taxes for 3 years before anybody has to do anything about it. And the other problem is, as everyone knows in this country, inflation has gobbled everything. And so as our costs have risen anywhere from 6 to 12%, depending upon budgetary items, we got 2.5%. So we're gonna run into a wall at some point. We've been fairly lucky because we've been really conservative in years past, but this last year drained those reserves. Okay, and so we've got to find a way to get back on that track to get back to being ahead of the curve. So I'm so glad we have a full staff back on. I'm looking forward to having a finance director full-time and not making Judy stay up so late. But we've got to find a way going into next year to really make the pennies pinch for the next couple of years. And we're gonna have to work together to do that because this thing did not end up in this situation overnight. It's not gonna be cleared up overnight. Probably the best we can get out of the legislature will be incremental fixes to how things happen. So we're gonna have to really buckle down and figure out how to make that eagle scream and get our finances back to where they should be. But, you know, I'll be blunt, this town never ceases to amaze me. Neither does this building and our government here. We'll find a way. Because when we've needed to find ways to do something that other people say can't be done, we do it. That's who we are. Yes.
How often does the rating happen? Is it for a period?
It's what, every, Judy, what's the rate on, you know, the time?
Well,
Doing these reports.
I believe the last one was 2017.
What I thought.
Yeah, but they will be looking for us to provide them with information in the next couple of years, probably each year.
And that Judy added the part that I was gonna add, which is they're not as frequent as you would imagine until you run into something like we've experienced this year. So we are hopeful that in the next 2 years, we'll have an opportunity for a reevaluation to really reinforce what the mayor has said. That means that as your city manager for the next 2 years, I'm going to be very scrutinizing the budget process and then items that come up during the year to, as best we can, keep not only within the budget that we adopt, but hopefully be able to build up a little bit more reserve while we're looking for those changes to come from Salem. So yeah, hopefully. That's the goal, because that's really what turned the outlook negative, was the impact to reserves in the last few years. So the goal within the constraints that the mayor outlines, I think very accurately, the goal will be to try to build back those reserves as best we can within the constraints that we have. So thank you for your thoughtful comments on that topic, Mr. Mayor.
Unfortunately, it's not my first rodeo. Any questions for Judy? All right.
Your colors are beautiful, Judy.
Next up, library. Hit us, Harrison.
Well, we've got a full month of programs again, although we're only got 2 weeks left in the month thereabouts. We've still got, I'd say, a full month of programs left. This Saturday, the 18th, we have a Super Smash Brothers Ultimate Tournament. Sophia's going to be running that, helping out with that as well. We've got a good roster of people signed up for that, but there's still space. You know, we won't know how many people we're going to put into brackets until day of, and see who shows and who doesn't. So there's still time to sign up and put your name down. And we've one of the weirder processing jobs I've done since being employed in this profession is trying to unlock all of the characters in Super Smash Brothers prior to a tournament. Fortunately, we have a good number of children and grandchildren and volunteers who've been able to take that task and follow through. So we have them all. So we don't have anybody showing up to the tournament not able to play the character they've been training with. You have a trivia night, October 24th, at 7. Sophia's going to be hosting, emceeing that. We've not done one of those in the time that I've been at the library, so we're really looking forward to that. Larry and Dina from Oregon Coast Children's Theater and Center for the Arts will be doing a mask making workshop October 25th from 10 to 2. They do that with us just about every year. It's always a lot of fun. They bring some really great skills and some interesting materials, natural and man-made. And we'll be doing trick or treat at the library, October 31st. Of course, during all open hours, we'll have candy available. In addition to what's going on downtown. As for services and collections, I've got our annual statistical report for the state library submitted. So I can run off a PDF of that for if anyone else is interested in looking at it, but I didn't submit it to this packet because it's pretty long and you guys have enough to read, I think, but that is all available. And once the state library is done with it, they'll combine those all into their big reports on how libraries in Oregon are doing. We've installed a library corner at Homey House with more books on the way. The Lynn Benton Lincoln System of Care gave us a grant to do youth outreach. It was a little bit of a long process in getting the funds delivered for that, but by the time we finished that process, of course, we had an ideal place to put those. So we have shelving, books, beanbag chair, and I've got a cart full of some other things that I'll be talking to Mr. Watkins about and figuring out what we want to do to finish out that grant and fill up the rest of that shelf. And we're currently working on outreach plans to Eddyville, and we're going to be launching that in November. The Lincoln County Library District recently acquired a van. It's a nice tall van you can stand up in. And this new vehicle is planned to be a bookmobile for various purposes. We've been talking again with Brian Miyagashima, our district director, about doing outreach to Eddyville since we're just down the road. And so we're looking to get that up and running as soon as possible. So we yesterday had Christopher Davis, our cataloger and one of our ILS admins for the district. He came out and we talked at length about new processes for designating items to go to Eddyville, placing holds for Eddyville patrons, and running offline, since we learned that for the time being, we will not have reliable internet access at the site that we're going to be using. So we're learning a lot in this process, and I'm sure we'll learn more as we move forward. And I'll close by saying Peter Earthman's solar light installations are getting a lot more aggressive this time of year. So you can come in and see the rainbows coming in before we close now. So at around closing time, our western section has light cascading all through it. And we're just about finished with the help of our Public Works Department with the museum and display furniture in that section of the library, in memory of J.D. Wade, our late patron, whose family donated a lot to us to do something special for him. So we've currently got an exhibit in our vertical display tower, and we're looking to keep that space full and active from here on out. That's me.
Any questions for Harrison?
That's a lot.
We try to keep busy.
Where will when the bookmobile is running, where will it be housed? Where's its home base?
So its home will be at the district office in Newport. So the plan currently is that when we do outreach runs, and we're thinking tentatively once every couple of weeks, we'll do an outreach bookmobile run. So we would be handling the outreach, but we pull items from elsewhere in the district too, and take those all out. So since we're not on yet the insurance for a district vehicle, the plan would be someone from the district office would come pick us up. We wheel our items into the bookmobile and run the bookmobile on site in Eddyville for a few hours.
Excellent.
Yay.
Thank you. Good job, Harrison.
Yeah, we're really excited to get out that way, and we know there's demand, and it's not far, but it's kind of far for folks to get from Eddyville inland, so.
Well, Nashville Road goes forever. You didn't know. Yes, sir.
I wanted to, before you introduced our next presenter, I wanted to just say that especially in consideration of your approval earlier this evening of the proposal for our Human Resources Director position, I am very thrilled to add to your monthly report presentations council a Human Resources report. So, Mr. Mayor, you may introduce our next speaker.
In football terms, it's called touchdown. Touchdown. Donna?
Hello. So the report that's in your packet was designed for a few meetings ago. And that was that point in time. And I just felt that you were all very deserving of a report as to what I've been doing since end of May, so all through the summer. And a lot of things in there, a lot of things that when I came in to this position had to be built, had to be, like, it wasn't there wasn't ready-made stuff for me to walk into and recruit candidates for jobs. Try as I might, I would look for things, couldn't find things, and that's not just me. I know that, it wasn't just me, but so a lot of stuff had to be built before it could be done. So the hiring of 7 staff over the course of the summer, that does include our newest executive assistant city recorder sitting back here in the wings of Krista. And that does not include Rich, because I didn't do the recruiting. Rich.
You don't claim that one, huh?
You're not gonna claim
You blame her?
I did his onboarding, but not the whole previous process, as you know. Anyway, right now have a open position for a firefighter EMT. And we're soon to, as Pace reported, soon to open a position for a police officer. So those are active going on. Another thing that's actively just yesterday, and so I can share with you that I had 3 hours of absolute joyous HR geekdom. And I sat with a compliance representative from CIS. And we went page by page through the City of Toledo handbook, which, as you know, has not been, the version we were using is dated 2010.
I remember that one.
There are a few things that have happened in the state of Oregon, legislatively, federally, all of those things. There's a few things that have happened since then. So it's a big heavy lift. I couldn't do it on my own. And yet it was absolute joy. I love that kind of stuff. So, looking to have a version, available, at least a pretty solid draft version in the next month. And so that's kind of the highlight right now for me is two job postings and a handbook.
Awesome.
I like that that's a highlight.
Yeah.
But I understand that there are things that, you know, if you're in. So we raised our boys and we told them that they had to have one or two jobs. They either had to have the job that they love so much that they want to get out of bed every morning and go to work. Not that every day will be great, but that they love that job. Or they gotta have the job that pays them so much money that they can, in their off time, they can do whatever they want to do in their off time. So far, only one of them has taken the latter path. The rest have all taken the job they love. And so, you know, I was hoping that for all of them because that's, you know, I think that's more rewarding in life. Even if you can go and do whatever you want. In his case, take 3 trips to Greece in the last 18 months. I still think that the ones who work at a job they love have more life satisfaction. And I'm glad to hear that you geek out on this stuff.
Any questions?
Yep.
You've been busy.
All right. Thank you very much, Shauna. All right, next, planning department.
Brian, anything to add to the report that's in the packet? Any questions, council, on planning that we might be able to add? Very good.
Thank you. Glad you guys are all here. It's good to see your smiling faces. Yes, Harrison, it's good to see your smiling face. All right, city manager's reports.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I anticipate only one report, but a few items for council this evening. One thing that Shauna mentioned a moment ago is that her report was originally prepared for what would have been the meeting on October, the first week of October. One of the things that was mentioned to me recently by a couple of the team members is that when reports are to be presented to council at their meeting in the first week, they're submitted to myself and then to the city recorder for inclusion in your agenda packets the week before the end of the month. So those departments that report on specific statistics don't have month-end data to provide you at that point. So this is not finalized, but I'm letting council know that something that we're discussing internally at the moment is moving some or all of the department reports to what would be the equivalent of this meeting, your third meeting of the month, which would give departments the opportunity to finalize their reports for that previous month. Nothing's finalized yet, but it's something that has come up on our radar and we've opened discussion. So I'll keep you updated, but just didn't want to surprise you out of the blue if that change was made in the future.
It's like a really reasonable type thing, so.
And obviously I need to talk to my team about their availability and so forth, but I appreciate that. Thank you. Shauna alluded to it a moment ago. I'm really excited to introduce Paul Johnson, our new city recorder executive assistant.
That in advance.
Paul comes to the city with quite a bit of extensive experience in with not always the exact same title, with similar executive assistant positions at multiple government agencies. He's been getting a crash course in the city recorder side of the position from Krista, who has been invaluable in helping getting him onboarded. So we're really excited to have Paul. He had a trip scheduled in advance when he accepted the offer from the city. So this is his first meeting. He won't be with us next week. Krista will be continuing to more than ably run the meeting for us next week. And then Paul will be sitting in that chair beginning with your first meeting in November. So welcome, sir, publicly. You bet. On the since I mentioned the first meeting in November, I have a notice for you and then a question for you. So we are anticipating starting at 5 p.m. on next week, October 22nd. That will include an executive session and then potential action on a collective bargaining agreement with the public safety bargaining unit. So we want to have the executive session to brief you on what the particulars of that agreement, and then if you're all ready, we'll have a vote afterward to take action on that proposed agreement. My question to you, Mr. Mayor, you mentioned earlier the URA, and you had mentioned possibly doing it before the November, what would be the November 5th meeting. Since we're already planning an early start on the 22nd, I'm anticipating the executive session to be no more than a half an hour.
If you
Special
just
meeting
slot
at
it there,
5:30, you
that's
want to
fine.
just slot it there?
Yeah,
Great.
I didn't know how long we had planned for that one, so I didn't want to take the chance on.
No worries. But I think we'll be good with a half an hour. So that gives us time between then and 6 p.m. So we'll plan on that for the URA.
All right.
I have a question for a couple council members for the record. So with the close of the most recent quarter, our finance department is getting ready to begin issuing the first batch of stipends to council members that were included in the charter that was adopted by the voters last November. According to the notes that we have, council members Burns and Mix verbally issued their desire to waive their stipends at the meeting on July 16th. I spoke to Savani and she's confirmed that your verbal waiver is sufficient for those purposes. What I just want to confirm with the two of you, since you issued those on July 16th, I just want to confirm with you both, and I would ask you to do so audibly, a yes will suffice, that you want those to be retroactive to July 1st.
Absolutely.
You betcha.
Wonderful. Thank you both. So the next item, and Harrison alluded to this in his report, but we did approve the application from the Chamber of Commerce for the downtown trick or treat event on October 31st. I'm working with my team to figure out exactly how City Hall, and we will be there. This is not a will we or won't we, but I'm working with my team to figure out how City Hall will be participating that day, since Halloween is on a Friday and City Hall closes at noon. So we will be participating, but we're just figuring out the logistics of how we'll be doing so.
That was gonna be one of my questions, is whether or not the city council wanted to be involved in the trunk or treat.
I would love that.
I don't know, I mean, so as you guys are putting those things together, I'm willing to participate in it and come and help.
That would be great.
I don't know if other counselors want, yeah, I don't know, and we may have to, do you wanna come help too? Oh, you betcha. Cause that's the three of us, it depends on time and everything.
Just make a note, it's in a
I've
possible
got it.
form.
Yep.
I can't remember if our game's on the 30th or the
It's on
30th.
the
Putting it
30th.
out
the
there.
Virgin still, the game
Yes.
is the
Yep.
Thursday because of Halloween on
Okay,
Friday.
then I'll be here to help.
Could you please notice a possible quorum?
We can definitely do that. And thank you, counselors, for offering to participate in that. I really appreciate it. I've let my team know if they want to come back and be a part of that, they're welcome to. But because we close it at noon, I didn't want to require anybody to be here. So you all stepping up and being a part of that is fantastic. Cindy Ullman has ordered the candy for us, so it will be here and ready for you.
Bring the new mascot?
I don't see any reason why not to, if you would
Unless the
like.
mascot gets into the candy.
That would be the only problem.
He's pretty good.
So as we mentioned, that event has been approved. We also have approved the application from the high school for their field games activities on October 21st at Memorial Field as part of their homecoming. I want to publicly recognize the Toledo Junior Football League. They had applied for and been approved for Memorial Field Monday through Friday into November. Prior to the school district's application, they very graciously agreed to cancel their practice on the 21st so that the high school could have the field. We also received today the application for the homecoming bonfire on the 24th. That's been reviewed by these three gentlemen over here and all have given their thumbs up. Chief Lapoff has informed me that they will need to do an inspection of the event before the bonfire is lit. I will let the school district know that and they can coordinate with the chief, but I will be notifying the school district tomorrow that that application is approved as well.
Perfect.
A quick update for you on Homey House, the 8,000 that you approved for Homey House, along with a copy of the letter of support for the additional fundraising efforts that they will be undertaking, will be going out from City Hall this week. Cindy included that in her AP batch this week. I've also been in touch with the city attorney regarding the next steps with the 10,000 that you also approved once they show that they have raised a matching amount from other sources. Savani suggested that we have an agreement in place with Homey House for that portion of the funds. She's drafted a template. My question to council is, are you comfortable with myself implementing that agreement, or would you like to see it and review it as a template ahead of time?
We hired you for a reason. I'm comfortable.
Very good.
Do we need to make a motion for that, or do we just leave it?
No, your consensus is.
Because that money is being made conditional upon that, he can handle the condition.
Very good.
My understanding is that the Homey House has already gotten that 10,000 match.
Well, that's fantastic. So I'll get that, now that I have your verbal consensus this evening, I will take the template that the city attorney has put together. I'll fill in the information that's pertinent to Homey House, and we'll get that to them as well. As soon as we get that signed, then I have no reason to doubt you're correct. If they have indeed raised that 10,000 already, as soon as we have a signed copy of that agreement, they can come forward and request that additional 10,000.
Do they have to do it?
Did you hear that?
Did you hear it in the back?
They have to do it here.
Yes. We did talk at your meeting when you approved that 10,000 that council would ratify that they confirm that that is correct. So we'll coordinate together and getting you scheduled for that event. So thank you all for your support on that. Savani has put together that agreement as a template that can be used for future strategic reserve fund allocations.
Perfect.
So that'll be, I think, a good addition to our administrative process.
Thank you very much.
Like that.
Thank you, Savani.
I have one update I forgot to mention.
Give me 1 second and I'll make sure I move back to you. Thank you, Brian. I'm happy to report that we have scheduled interviews for our permanent finance director position on October 30th. We have 3 candidates that we've invited for interviews in person that day. They will have 2 panels. One will consist of the senior leadership team. And then I'm also happy to report, and something I stole from the process that you all subjected me to. As you recall, there was a panel that was made up of city managers from communities in our general vicinity. So Jensen is putting together a panel of finance directors from cities around the valley. So there'll be one panel, the senior leadership team that is really looking at these applicants and how what they would bring to Toledo. And then we'll have a group of finance directors who will subject them to the interview process and be able to tell us if they think that they have the technical skills to be a finance director. So I'm really excited to have the viewpoint of both of those panels.
Now, the ultimate decision is still yours, correct?
That is correct. Yes, I will certainly take into account all of the feedback, but yes, so at the end of the process, I, as the city manager, will have the final decision. Let's see, we already talked about the URA, which I had at the bottom of the list, and trunk or treat, we will make sure we get a notice of potential quorum out. So, Mr. Mayor, that concludes my report. I'm available for any questions. Councilor Burns is on it.
I don't know if this is what you do or if the mayor did it, the letter that goes in the water bills.
Oh, yes.
So is that gonna be reinstituted again?
We have the opportunity to do a letter every month. Just depends on, if we have anything to, help get out. So, Brian, that reminds me, that might be a good thing for, the Parks and Rec survey that we were discussing today in terms of helping get that information out. So if you can help me remember that, that'd be great.
I'm writing it down so I don't forget to remind you.
Perfect. You read my mind. Any other questions from council? All right. I just, I want to, before I turn it back over to Brian, I don't think that I can add anything to the eloquent words that have been said tonight about the vigil that was held last week. I just want to echo everything that you all said about the importance of that event, the beauty of that event. And I want to take the opportunity to recognize our Public Works team for their efforts in support of that event, as well as both the street dance and the pet parade that have taken place over the last couple weekends. That team is very, very diligent, very dedicated. And I don't want to embarrass Brian too much, so I'm going to leave it at that. But I just want to recognize him and his team. So thank you all. I know several of you did that already this evening in your previous comments, but I wanted to echo that. Brian, you had something to add?
Follow that up. No, thank you for the kudos. It's 100% my team and the supporting staff that I've got. So I just want to do an update because I know Chief Pace had reached out. I know Frank had reached out too, and we were aware of solar does not always mean consistent in this area. So the northbound speedback sign on Southeast Urban in the elementary school zone, we're having it hardwired. PUD is putting in, they're pulling power over to a power pole, we're trenching, and we're getting a meter base. It's gonna be hardwired, so it's not gonna be problematic moving forward once we get that dialed in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you much.
That's it.
All right, city council issue tracker.
Council, does anybody have any item that has not already been discussed this evening that you would like to add for staff follow-up?
Yeah. So I'm wondering if we can have someone be in charge of social media for all of our events, because I became frightfully aware that there's so many events that are going on, but it's not getting out there. And so, when I texted you on Saturday about the pet parade, I was surprised that it wasn't on the city Facebook. And so, but even just our events, there's, I know the library is really good. You guys are great at keeping up your calendar, but we kind of stink at it. So I don't know, how do we step it up? Who can do it? How can it be done? Because we need to support our events.
I'll just add really quick to Councilmember. I get the Jackie's confused. To Councilor Burns's comments, I will add really quickly that the pet parade was on the city's Facebook page as both a post and a created event. It was posted in early September, so it was not the most recent post, but it was out there. And I think that that's probably, I want to make sure that I think I stress that as much as has been possible within the staff's capacity in recent times, they are on top of posting an item, but maybe not a repeat follow-up. So that is something for us to take a look at. In the past, the social media has been something that has been managed by the incumbent in the city recorder's position. That'll be something Paul and I will be talking about to see, as he gets into the position and understands the nuances of that. Is that something that he has the bandwidth for and the comfort with? So whether it lies with that position or is, one that goes, to another individual, or does it become a team effort? That'll be something we'll be figuring out. But it is something that we're aware of has been somewhat lacking, and we'll definitely be looking to get back on top of it.
Maybe not to create the post, but to make it active.
Yeah.
Once it's posted, then maybe, I don't know, we could have permissions just to go in and repost it or reshare it, whatever that
And
is.
ask me, I get picked off all the time.
Well, but I don't, so, you know, whatever we can do.
Yeah, and you know, in terms of opening it up to counselors or other staff members, that's something I'd want to talk with the staff and city attorney about is how much access do we want to have out there for both public records issues and a couple other considerations. But I definitely take the insight that it's something that we do need to activate more, and I'll
Okay.
definitely be
Thank you.
working on that. Thank you.
I will say that if you comment on said post, it brings it back to the top of people's
Right.
feeds, so.
Oh.
You can actually just go in and say bump or a period and it brings it back up.
So one other thing, I had, and this speaks directly to what you're talking about. I spoke with Amber Brown. She is she starts November 1st officially as the new Chamber of Commerce Director. She is adamant about helping us as a city become, for lack of a better word, more prominent out there on social media.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be sitting down with her sometime over the next 10 days when our schedules can connect. And I have some ideas, she has some ideas, we're gonna work some stuff up, and she'll probably come in and give some sort of presentation come November. One of the other things, and your predecessors have been approached with this. We have someone who does this for a living who would like to do it for the city. And I will make sure they get back in touch with you because you're new,
For free? No.
but not for a bundle,
Is that what I'm thinking?
maybe.
Okay.
We'll talk later.
Okay.
So I will be honest, in my time coming back into this position, I've never had the Chamber of Commerce offer to do any of that before. So I'm really happy.
They never return calls either.
Mayor, if I could just, when you and obviously what works best for you and Amber schedule wise, if you'd let me know when you have that scheduled and if it's in my calendar, I'd love to join you.
I would love you to join us.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Any other,
I have something on the issue tracker.
okay, go, that's what I was.
Please.
Okay, so, only because I just saw it on there again. I asked to have them, that report, that thing pushed to the next meeting.
Mhm.
But honestly, what I think it needs to go is to a work session.
Okay.
Because it's more of an interactive thing. It's questions based on the things that we brought back. And it's kind of questions for us counselors to work on formatting ideas, maybe thinking about putting that into practice, And so it's more of a work session thing,
Okay.
I think, than actually a presentation.
So I have two questions on that. Your work session on the 22nd, so you're gonna have the special meeting before that, as we discussed. Your work session is really gonna be focused on the council's policies and the charter. And I imagine that that's probably going to be
Exhausting.
an exhausting conversation. Savani will be here in person for that meeting next week. Your next work session by the calendar would be November 26th, which I think we all agree we're not gonna have a meeting that
Yeah,
night.
we already canceled that one and the one of Christmas week.
Fantastic. So, depending on how much is being looked at for the agenda that evening, would council be supportive of having a work session as part of your meeting on the 19th? Or would you rather delay it into December?
Why not? I'm okay with doing it.
I will probably have to zoom in, because I'll be away at a conference. But the sooner we do that, while a lot of it's fresh in those of us minds that were there, I think the better.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think we'll look to build in a work session then onto your agenda on November 19th.
And Mr. Hebner, have you had a chance to look at it? Do you think I've got it formatted right? Do you think, have you had a chance to look?
I haven't yet, I haven't yet in depth. So I do have the copy that I got that evening in preparation for the 19th. I'll look at that and we can set up a meeting to go over any notes that I may have if that works for you. You bet. Mr. Mayor, really quick on that note, I'll just ask while it's fresh in my mind. When you participate in a meeting remotely, do you still prefer to chair the meeting or would you rather have somebody in?
I would rather have the council president chair it.
Okay,
simply because they're in the room and you never know when technical difficulties are gonna go. So.
perfect. So we'll make a note of that for that meeting with the anticipation that you'll be remote or absent, depending on how the schedule works for you. Very good. Any other issue tracker items, council?
I was going to ask about the follow-up after action. I know that we had talked about doing something with the staff. Is that coming together?
It is. I'm in ongoing discussions with the city attorney on how best to schedule that. So more information to follow, but yes, it is very much on the radar.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Any other questions? All right. Now we're on to council comments. I will start with Councilor Burns.
Oh, my goodness. You know, first of all, I want to say how refreshing it was with the two events to have the support of the city. You know, starting out with the street dance, to have, you know, the police, a meeting with the city manager, the fire department, public works, and the police department, so that we had everything handled. That was just such a load off right there. I also want to just give some shout outs actually for the two different events. So we'll start with the street dance, because I want to talk about Lisa Watson, the railroad. She's incredible. She steps up for just about everything, has the best attitude, and she is just like a machine. So I just can't say enough about Lisa and her.
And she got Hunter was my little brother.
And
I love these.
Yeah, and so. Then with the street dance, I would like to give some accolades to the donors that made contributions. So there was Rizza Pizza, Cafe 235, Timbers, Cobblestone Pizza, Heidi's Hair Asylum, the Quinna Bay Charters, Clearwater Restaurant, Chelsea Rose, Barge Inn Tavern, Local Ocean, Dairy Queen, Ripley's, the Lincoln County Fair, and then of course the Oregon Coast Bank paid for the DJ. So they were very, very generous. And in terms of what we had for attendance, I felt a little bit disappointed, but then I had to remember the whole purpose was to get the word out about the home health. And so in terms of getting people to volunteer, Homey House provided volunteers that helped with the carnival games and with the selling the raffle tickets. So we were really fortunate, since you guys had to be in conference. I mean, that was unfortunate, but couldn't help it. So I also want to give a shout out to a woman that I met on Facebook who moved here from Illinois. Her name is Jan Whitler. She volunteered for both events, and she ran errands, she picked up gift certificates, she did all of that work. It really saved me. The next thing is on the pet parade. I want to give you a budget report on that. So we paid $230 for flyers. 45 of them was for those little postcards. I think maybe next year we won't do those. So, and then I turned in receipts for $49. So the whole event came to $279. I don't remember what our budget was.
Wasn't it 500?
Yeah.
Yeah. You asked for, I think, and Tracy said that's not enough, let's go to 500.
Yeah, so-
I was wrong.
Yeah, so again, with the I sent an email to the Homey House and asked for some support to help volunteer.
May I interject for a moment, Councilor?
You may.
I would like to, I'd like to share specifically the counselor's email and her response. So Councilor Burns sent the following email to Homey House on Wednesday, the 8th. She said, "Dear friends of the Homey House, I'm asking for help with our event on Saturday. If possible, I would like 6 volunteers from 10 until about 2 at the latest. Setup needs include 2 canopies and 2 tables that need to be set up. At 11:30, registration begins. It would be really great to have 2 to 3 people facilitate that and assign contestant numbers. The parade begins at noon. While the judges tally their votes, we have a wiener roast. We would like to have 2 to 3 people who will serve. Possibly those who set up and man the registration table could do this if we don't have enough volunteers. If volunteers can do all 4 hours, it would be great. If not, there are things broken down in, if not, these are things broken down in time. This is our second annual Halloween pet parade. We'll be at the Waterfront Park. The city council hosts to provide a free, fun family event. Needs include setup, 2 to 3 to help set up at 10, 2 to 3 to help with cleanup at 1, registration, 2 to 3 people, including serving of wieners. Blessings from Jackie Burns. The response that she got, so she sent that email a little before 5. The response she got within 3 hours. Dear Jackie, my name is Lincoln Eaton and I am 15 years old. I am responding to your request as I am the student in charge of running our volunteer efforts for the Homie House. I have spoken with other kids and have come up with a list of 5 names willing to help volunteer at your event. The list of names are Lincoln, Thomas, I apologize if I'm pronouncing this incorrectly, Phoenix, Maddie, and Lacey. We will be at the Waterfront Park at 10 a.m. 3 of us have our food handlers cards. We look forward to serving at this event. Please reach out with any questions or concerns. Very respectfully, Lincoln Jamesy.
More kids than that showed up. Milk.
And they showed up in force, like
They
I
did.
got there with my wheelchair and they already had most of it set up and we're trying to help unload my car, my wheelchair. All my ADA needs that I needed, those kids took care of.
They were
Yeah.
amazing.
So
Yeah.
they manned the registration table, they served the wieners, they helped with the setup and the tear down. So just amazing and incredibly polite. And it just, Tyler.
Yep.
They are real gems. They really, really are. So just can't say enough about them. I also want to thank Tracy for taking pictures. And I don't know what to do with the pictures. She gave me this whole file folder full of pictures. But I wanna, they're really, they're really great, but I don't know what to do with them.
Did she give you hard copies or are they digital?
It's digital. It's just an access to my Google Drive.
Well, speaking of Facebook posts, if the city can get copies of those, we'd love to do a follow-up
Okay.
post on the event.
That'd be great. Also want to thank Frank for picking up the stuff at the market. Our chef here was the grill master and the MC, really appreciate that. And then also your son Hunter for helping with whatever was needed. And so I think.
My brother, my little brother.
So, but the whole thing was, again, weather, I was disappointed at the turnout. You guys know that I asked, would you give me 300 registration sheets? We had 40.
Oh, wow.
And so,
Next year, watch, next year's gonna explode.
but here's the thing,
It'd be beautiful.
I had people calling me about, okay, how do I register? I think the weather was a little bit of a detriment. But then on Facebook, people were saying, we had fun. They would message me and so
Yes.
it was so fun. And so, it's just nice to have something that is free and fun, just for no other reason, but just to for grins and giggles.
So
So
we had 2 animals this year that we didn't have last year. A snake, the snake's food, a rabbit.
We did have.
Separate from each other, but we didn't have those last year. We only had dogs and cats. Oh, and a goat.
You gotta go.
So, and that's all I have to say about any of that.
Thank you, Jackie.
Yep.
Jackie Kaufman.
I don't have any.
Okay. Frank?
So, couple things. One, here's a card for a lady I met at our convention that has ideas on how to get some help for our history museums that won't come out of city budget. There's a couple programs that she knows about that she's gonna put us in touch with, so they can help support our history and they can come in and determine what buildings are in town that are historical and all kinds of stuff. Great. So I just gave him the card. I'm gonna be sending Rich an email at some point summarizing what I learned at LOC, so he can send it to all you guys. Otherwise, I'll be talking here for hours and I don't wanna do that. I'm also gonna be emailing the LOC up there. The convention was awesome, but it was an ADA nightmare.
Yeah, that hotel.
All the rooms had humps in it. I was tripping over the humps in the carpet. Oh, yes, going down the hallway.
It's an old hotel.
It-
Give us.
It was just a ADA nightmare. One of the ladies, we call her my scooter buddy. She almost fell in the bathroom because there's nothing for handicap. They put me on the 7th floor, they put her on the 12th. How do you get an ADA person out of a hotel in a fire?
Yeah.
So, I mean, LLC did a great job putting this on, but they have to find better hotel accommodations for people that are ADA, because it was an absolute nightmare. And again, I want to reiterate that I appreciate all the council, mayor, staff, but mostly the community that came out for Tasha. It was a very heartwarming event. That is all.
Council president mix.
Yes, well, I had, like everybody except Jackie, went to the 100 Years LSC conference up in Portland. I took some leadership training classes in that, and they were kind of intense, and it was on a rough day for me, but I got a lot from it. They had amazing speakers. This one woman in particular was an HR lady. And when I went into there and I'm sitting there, all of a sudden I almost gave myself concussion because I rolled my eyes. I'm thinking, oh yeah, I know what this is gonna be like. But no, paid for the class, we're taking it. So, and I, that is one of those slap in face things. Do not read the book, judge the book by its cover, because this woman had so much insight and was so, just in the way she gauged things and kind of made you think differently and really think outside the box so I think that's gonna I feel like it's definitely brought about back to me, a lot of the key phrases that I've kind of brought in with. The one was, our community it's not geographically where we're geographically placed, it's the people within our community. That's what defines community. It's not by real estate, it's by the people. And especially in a small town like ours, there are a lot of things that we have going for us that larger communities don't have. Your neighbors. This is why we pull together so well, because we're pulling for each other. And that was some of the stuff that I brought out of that. I don't want to go into too much because, like Frank, I could be here all night. So I want to get away from that, but then I want to jump to summer. Last night I attended the Summerfest meeting. And I'm really glad I did. I didn't realize, I always wondered, why hasn't Summerfest come and talked to us? Why haven't they come before council and asked us to assist with some of these things, or ask us to give them a shout out here? They didn't know they could. That's really what it came down to. How do we do that? What can you guys do with us? And so what I did is I basically took this, we have kind of made this commitment as a council that we're going to get more involved. We need more outreach in our community. So I went to them and I said, hey, what can we do to help you? What kind of things can we do? So I started a conversation and they asked me some things. And so if it's okay, I'll just bring those up right now.
Yep.
The first one is how can the Summerfest get events shared on the city community page or links to it? I know we've done it for other places. So basically, I think they want me to know, who do I tell them to talk to? Is that Paul?
When you say the community page, are you talking Facebook or website?
I think it's our website that
Our
we're talking
website
about.
lists community events.
And I'm familiar with that, but I just wanted to make sure I was talking about the
Yeah.
correct outlet. Yeah, send information to the city recorder that is requested for the inclusion on the website. We'll certainly take a look at it for if it's an appropriate fit for the city website. Obviously Summerfest would be, but yeah, if somebody has a request for information be included on the website, city recorder.
Okay, so that's one part of it. The second one is, are the community grant requests online, or do they need to come in to get the forms for that? Because she told me that, Jen told me that the last time she just copied an old one because she couldn't find it online.
I know that Lisa had them online. I don't know if Krista does or not, so I'm going to look to the young lady in the back with her hand up.
Thank you. They are online. However, our website is a little bit problematic. When you put some of these things in the search bar, it just comes up with a lot of meetings and things. So, Paul and I were actually discussing today about trying to leave only about 3 pages in before somebody finds the thing that they're looking for. So he is aware that those things need to be updated. It just, in the course of me being here, wasn't the top of the priority list. But the forms are on the website. I did put those up, so people shouldn't have to, if they're not there, just let us know, but I am about 99% sure they are there.
So yes, and if she can't find them, she should ask Paul.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, and this,
We might, but they come in and ask, well, we just print it out.
Okay.
and then the last thing is not a question, well, a quarter of is, sort of. One of the things that we talked about, the possibilities is like, hey, when we get our Summerfest princesses, can we come in and introduce them to the council? And they're like, yes, please do that. And so talking about other ways that we can kind of, you know, they can promote us, we can promote them. This event brings in so much money into our town.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if they like can come up with some sort of a thing where the princesses do something at the library one time and promote the library, cross promotion, I don't know. But I'm thinking if there's ways we can combine forces within legal out, you know, within what's legal, of course. So I've started the conversation with them. I hope that's okay.
Yep.
And
So to give a little background to this. When Summer Festival was gone for that year, essentially. Yeah, I'll give it 2 years. They changed over everything in the leadership of. And so the people who had been doing it for the previous 20 to 30 years. Got out when the COVID years hit. This is an entire new group, so they don't have the history of all the things that Summer Festival could and couldn't do. Tracy's doing an excellent job here, reaching out to, for those of you in this room that haven't been here for a Summer Festival fireworks show, there have been years we've had 30,000 people in this town. And if you want to have fun, watch them all try to get out of town.
At the same time.
After the fireworks show. That's why my wife and I come down, we set up our lawn chairs and we bring enough drinks to last us till midnight, because that's usually how long it takes just to get the.
entertaining part is.
Exactly. I only got to go 7 blocks from where we sit, but it would take me an hour to get those 7 blocks in my car. So, thank you, Tracy, very much for doing that.
absolutely. I think I've already said, you know, thank you again to everybody. The city has been through, like we've all voiced, an enormous amount in the last couple weeks. And the way we have bonded together and come together has been beautiful. It's beauty amidst the darkness, and that's what Toledo's known for.
Yep.
I think we gave Rich a crash course on what we really are about here. And that was not the way we wanted to do it, but we shared our hearts with everybody, so thank you.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, ma'am.
I forgot a couple things, just real quick.
Go ahead.
I forgot to acknowledge Brian Timmy for the playing the music at the pet parade. And I need about 30 thank you cards.
I will get them for you.
Thank you.
You bet.
That's it.
Okay. For mayor's comment. Oh.
Said Jackie's awesome.
For mayor's comments tonight, I'll try to go through these quickly. First, I'll start with the pet parade. As I thanked Brian, because as you might have guessed, last week was pretty hard for me. And Brian playing old school music perked me right up, and I was back to dancing and singing while I'm doing hot dogs and just meeting people.
He was
And
shaking his booty. I saw it.
yes, I was, because it was my old style music. Don't laugh, Rich.
Too late.
But seriously,
Offended, Rich. I
it
don't know what to
was-
tell you.
it was the happy thing that I needed. Not even our football win perked me up the night before. But taking me back to my old, thank you. I've never had a applause vote during this. thank you to Brian for all that, and I thanked him there
You
too,
betcha.
but that picked me up for the day and got me going. I have to tell you that I am so happy to have, I've said this privately, but I'm gonna say it publicly. I'm so happy to have a partner again, be able to bounce things off of, be able to find out where the landmines are in my job. Because most of you that have known me for any amount of time know that I'm willing to stick my foot or my neck in almost anything that shows up. And I need someone to rein me in. And Rich, I cannot thank you enough. There were a couple of things I could have stuck my neck into and gotten chopped off pretty easily. And Rich said, nah, you probably don't want to do that. And so I didn't. And I'm forever grateful. Thank you. To all of our department heads, this is why I love Toledo. Through the midst of all the crap, through the midst of all the stuff, midst of all, whatever you want to call them, you guys have remained a solid team. And that means a lot, not just to me, but to this entire community. Because they see you out doing your job every day and you just keep doing it. You don't go around asking for accolades. You go out, you do your job to the best of your ability. And from what I've seen in other cities, we got a top-notch crew. And I cannot thank anyone to lead in this community. What happened last Saturday night shouldn't happen in any community at any time. Saturday before, sorry. And it was handled in the proper way. It was handled in the best way possible with the best outcome possible considering what happened. That does not happen in other small towns, folks. I hate to tell you this, okay? Our team is amazing. And the more we recognize and make sure they understand it, the better we'll be going forward. That leads me to the gentleman sitting back there in the blue hat, who's been very nice and quiet. What he has done this year with kids in our community that a lot of people write off is nothing short of amazing. And I am so glad that we were able to partner with him to get it off the ground and get it moving. Because Jackie is absolutely right. Those kids were hauling stuff out to my car, which was over a block away, doing it with a smile on their face. And they enjoyed being down there helping people. And these are kids that people will write off. I am so impressed. Thank you very much for everything you're doing here. We need these programs. We need to keep doing these community functions. We need to keep doing things that show people that we care, that this town really does care. And I will give you a quote from one of my mentors in being mayor. His name's Steve Calloway. He was mayor of Hillsborough for a long time. You can pretend to care, but you can't pretend to show up. And we show up. We get out, we do the things that need to be done for the people in this community. And I am so proud of all of you, council, staff, everybody. It's just an amazing thing to watch a community do this. Thank you to all of you. Thank you, Jackie. Thank you, Tracy. Thank you, Frank. Thank you, Jackie. Thanks to all of you. I'm sorry, this is a wonderful city. And that's why I do this, because I would only do this because of you guys. And yes, as you probably heard before, the invitation is open for what comes in about 16 months. In any event, do we have any future agenda items we need to add?
It does not appear so, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, then we are adjourned.
Yay.
Hey, Rich. Yes, sir. How does, like, fund my notes for myself?
3 o'clock tomorrow, sound for me to come in and get that application from you.
3 o'clock is when we start our senior leadership meetings on Thursday.
Just leave it at.
Absolutely.